Whoopi Goldberg, who, in my estimation, is probably in jeopardy of losing her job. And it's not because of all the reasons that Whoopi will tell you. Oh, Trump's going to get rid of me. Oh, I'm under threat. My show is under threat if Donald Trump becomes president. Listen, you were there, lady, for 4 years while you went after him on a daily basis. And look, you're still there, okay? If you lose your job, Whoopi Goldberg, it's because nobody actually wants to watch your show. And the media is changing. Right? So they don't need to pay the live studio audience, and they don't need to pay the guy or the gal that's holding up the sign that says laugh now or clap now or cheer now for your live studio audience. They don't need any of that. They could do it so much more cheaply if they could figure that out over at ABC. Owned by Disney. Believe me, Disney wants to sell them, and whoever comes in and buys ABC is going to cut out the fat so quickly. They're going to try and run that thing like a Swiss watch, which means you're not going to have to listen to this lady anymore. That's the upside.
All of you. Talking about you, it's us. He's not going to, say, oh, you're with a white guy. I'm going to keep you from being deported. No, he's going to deport you and put the white guy with someone else. The man is out there. He's also...
So I'm not really entirely sure what she was trying to get at in that. A lot of people have suggested that she was going to try and break up interracial marriages, or rather he was going to try to break. I mean, it's nuts. They call him anti-Semitic. His grandchildren are Jewish. His own daughter married Jared Kushner. She converted to Judaism for that. I mean, so they're just throwing stuff at the wall to see what sticks. And then they're trying to bring in the celebrities, including the likes of Beyonce or Taylor Swift or Bruce Springsteen to kind of help along the way. And it's not making a difference. That's the incredible thing. So no matter how much of annoying chatter you hear on The View day in and day out, no matter how much you hear the chicken little sky is falling. I mean, you look at these polls, and I've got new ones to share with you today, and it just doesn't matter. The American people are making a decision that the media is wrong, and the media is hysterical, and the media is going to continue telling them the sky is falling over and over and over again, but doesn't actually realize the real threat, which is that we are a nation under threat from the likes of people pouring in. And hey, you can be all for legal migration, and I am, but you can't have the illegal stuff, okay? That can't go down. Then you don't know who's here. It's like Law and Order gets thrown out the window. Remember the whole defund the police thing when that one was in vogue? And somehow it was, racist to say that you wanted police? Who do you think wants the police? People in poor neighborhoods. And unfortunately, a lot of minority communities are in poor neighborhoods. So none of this is flying or playing in Peoria, as they like to say. We've been looking at all of these numbers that are coming in, including the New York Times Siena poll out that just came on Friday. And they're neck and neck. But you know what? When you go over to the real stuff, and that would be the prediction markets, Poly Market, check out Poly Market. So he's just been climbing and up and away. That's a stock chart I'd like to see, right? 66.1% now. So he's reaching a new high in the prediction markets as Kamala Harris reaches a new low. And that tells you a lot, right? Because this is real money. So this means if you put $1 down, it's going to cost you 66.1 cents, right? That is 66 cents effectively. And you're going to get a payout of 34 cents vis-a-vis the other one. So where are the odds? The odds are with Donald Trump. The smart money is telling you that. And then you look at the stock market, you look at Bitcoin. We just had Michael Saylor on the show the other day. But, you look at Stan Druckenmiller, billionaire hedge fund. What was he saying? That all the market internals are telling you investors are preparing for a Donald Trump win. Let's look at Michigan right now. Michigan showing us, yes, Donald Trump has the advantage. Pennsylvania, all he needs is one of these guys. He has the advantage. Georgia, he's got the advantage. North Carolina, he actually, let's see. This is another story I want to talk about. We'll get to that in a second. He's got the advantage in North Carolina, but this is Arizona as well. Again, advantage going to Arizona, going to Donald Trump in Arizona. And part of the big reason for that is because, as we've discussed, Hispanics overwhelmingly siding with Donald Trump. So this is really miraculous given what's going on. in all of the media and in all of entertainment. And so Kamala was asked, well, what do you think of these polls? I mean, right? Like, how do you react to the news that Donald Trump is actually neck and neck with you? And then, by the way, the prediction markets show he's way ahead. I mean, how do you react to that, Kamala Harris? And, you know, she says she's not good at thinking on her feet. I guess that came to fruition once again when she was asked this question. Take a listen, ladies and gentlemen, to her answer.
Madam Vice President, can you give us a sense of your internal polling at the campaign and how that is making or influencing your decisions on what to do over the next 9 days?
So, to be very frank with you, my internal polling is my instinct. I let the campaign people deal with all that other stuff. And I am responding to what I'm seeing. If you see the people who are showing up last night, every event that we do, and the feeling is...
She's got her own internal polls. Yeah, you know, my intuition, my clock internally is telling me I'm going to win. Okay, let me go with my intuition, Kamala. It says you're not. You're not going to win. You're actually going to fail this thing pretty spectacularly. And the Democrats are going to say, what went wrong? I'm going to tell you right now what went wrong. I can pinpoint what went wrong. They had a candidate who didn't eat, sleep, and breathe policy, who, by the way, was part of the same system. We've had nearly 4 years of Kamala Harris in charge. She was the so-called border czar. She was in charge of border policy. She was there alongside the President of the United States. I mean, she is somewhat responsible, is she not, for the disastrous economic policy that we have. She's tethered to him, whether she likes it or not. She's had a lot of opportunity, ample opportunity. She's very proud of having been the final signature for that Inflation Reduction Act, which sent prices through the roof. So she doesn't have anything that she can point to other than, oh yeah, look at this. The cost of coffee is up 20% under Kamala Harris. I mean, wow. Apparel, even apparel. And a lot of this comes from overseas, but it's up 15.1%. You get food at kids' school, K through 9, up nearly 70%. It was down 9.3% under Donald Trump. It's amazing to me. Energy prices were down. They're up 34% under Harris and Biden. And so she doesn't have anything at all to point to. And yet somehow it's a whole bunch of crazy people. Yeah, if we're not voting for her, then we're the problem. We're the problem. And then it gets into the gender thing. And for whatever reason, she just can't get men. You know why? Because they're paying the bills and they don't like what they see.
But it's men. I mean, I think the real struggle for the Harris campaign is young men, older men, men of color, white men.
Nah, men. Okay. Listen, all those men out there and women too, I want to tell you about my company. I'm very, very proud of this company. This is 76 Research. I'm just giving you some numbers here, you know, as we confront all the harsh realities of really tough inflation. It's one of the big reasons why I want you to be invested. I want you to be invested in the market. And to do that, I highly recommend that you sign up for 76 Research. 76 Research, guys, because this is my company, my baby that I created with a very dear friend, Rob Horton, who's a brilliant stock picker. And take a look at this. I mean, you're looking at median stock index up. The median stock in our 76 Research portfolio up 10.8% versus the S&P up 5.9%. This is for the quarter ending 9/30/2024. You see right across the board there, we get some really good picks for you. There's about 10 to 15 picks in each of the portfolios. You can sign up for the Founders Club at 76research.com and get all of the portfolios, or you can get the 76 report. Code word dollar. That's what you need to use. Code word dollar, DOLLAR today. Sign up because it's just $1 a month. You can cancel anytime for the first 2 months and it goes to $9.95. Anyway, I digress, but you get the point. You get the point. You want to be able to do something for yourself in this environment. I do think she's going to lose. And I think it's going to get kind of awkward when she loses, because I think that there is one team, one side that's going to be a little bit more vocal, and they're really not going to adapt to this so well. You know, when you talk about the threat of a civil war, I don't mean with generals and stuff, but I do mean something. I think something's coming our way, and it's actually pretty frightening because they have ratcheted up the rhetoric to a level we've never seen honestly, we've never really seen before, at least not in modern day media. And it's going to lead us into a really difficult place. I was looking at some data, actually. Elon Musk tweeted this stuff out, and I thought it was really interesting. I'm going to get to it in a little bit coming up, because he was tweeting out about the media itself and the bias within the media and how much the media is donating to Democrats, which is amazing to me, because I was a member of the mainstream media for a really long time, okay? Like going back to year 2000. So there you have some 20 years. And I actually didn't donate to campaigns because I felt that fundamentally it was wrong. All right, that was just my own personal ethics. It was just wrong as a member of the media to do that. See, I'm over here on the other side now, though. I get to have an opinion. And you know I have an opinion. I have a lot of opinions. But part of that includes that the media is just so far gone. Gone. So the polls, you've seen them. Kamala's not doing so well in the polls. So what did they think they had to do? Oh, bring in Beyonce. Apparently Taylor Swift wasn't enough. Apparently Bruce Springsteen wasn't enough. All the actors in Hollywood, they're just not enough. So they're going to go get Beyonce. They trotted her out into Texas on stage, and she gave Kamala a big hug, and she spoke for about 3 minutes, talked about how it was so important to elect Kamala Harris. And then Kamala gets to the stage. Now, this is interesting. I want you to see this and give me your reaction. I think they're booing her. I think that that's exactly what we're seeing. And I was like, why are they booing her? Apparently, all of Texas was told, you're going to get a concert from Beyonce. So everybody poured into the arena there for that rally over the weekend, and they didn't get any kind of concert from the likes of Beyonce. So they weren't too happy. Like it's getting a little unruly. Just a little unruly. You know, they thought they were going to get a Beyonce concert. It turned out they just got a little speech, and then the rest was Kamala. And they really didn't apparently want to see Kamala. I don't know. I mean, that sounded like booing to me. What do you think? Compare and contrast with what we saw at Madison Square Garden. I'm sorry, guys. You know what? Here's the deal. Back in 2016, we'd look at those polls, and I said to everybody, don't count Trump out. Like, you just can't dismiss him like this. Everybody thought for sure Hillary Clinton was going to win. Remember, you know, she had the balloons and the glass ceiling and blah, blah, blah in New York City. And then they were so stunned as all the news came in. And I would travel around the country, and I'd talk to people, and I'd be in places like Pennsylvania and in rural areas. And I would constantly hear, hey, Trish, thank you for what you do. I love you. I watch your show. You're one of the few people that's just willing to say it like it is. And I'm like, well, what do I have to lose, right? I'm just a policy nerd who looks at tax policy in her spare time. And I liked his tax policy. Trust me, I liked his tax policy. And I'm like, what do I want? But the economy to grow, and for more people to have more as Americans, for you to be able to keep your wealth, for all of us to be able to have more say in the equation. That's what I want. So back in 2016, I was one of the few people who said, I think it's going to happen. Now, 2020, there was a lot moving against him. Don't forget, yours truly, rather infamously, came out against the lockdowns, came out against everything that happened in March of 2020. I just remember looking at the stock market. I think that's what infuriated me the most, because I'm like, for goodness sake, CNN's on his plane story again, okay? Like, don't get me wrong. And you know what? We didn't know then what we know now, et cetera. And we have the benefit now of 2020 hindsight. But to me, it made literally no sense that you were going to shut down your entire economy because there was an illness, a virus that was going to affect a lot of people, don't get me wrong, but a specific group of people. Why wouldn't you actually make sure that those people were protected and kind of just try and continue on with everything else? And I saw them as trying to politicize it, and they were trying to take him out however they could. And this was an opportunity, all right? This was part of the opportunity. And as a result, we did see him lose his position there as president, and the rest is history. But now America has the benefit of that hindsight, right? And they have the benefit of knowing, okay, what happened once he left? It was a train wreck. I mean, they put this guy in who couldn't string a whole sentence together. Poor Joe Biden. I mean, likable enough, right? That's kind of how he got the gig. People thought he was likable, but nobody understood his policy. And he had this woman behind the scenes now trying to run for the presidency who was pretty darn clueless, frankly. Had a whole bunch of word salad and then some. I don't know how she ever... Okay, we won't go there. I know what you guys are going to say. I don't know how she ever got to the level that she's at. I mean... Willie Brown really must have been pulling some strings, right? But anyway, you're looking at Polymarket right now as I see him in the prediction markets showing a 66.1% shot of winning this thing. And it makes sense. It makes sense because the average American is like, I don't care how many times you say it. I'm sick of you people. You had 4 years and you screwed up. And when you screw up, you pay a penalty. It's going to be a fun night. November 5th, we're going to be here live. So make sure, if you haven't subscribed to the show, do me that favor, subscribe to the show, hit the bell, hit the alert so that you know when I'm here, you know when I'm live. We're going to have a big, big election night right here on the Trish Regan Show. I'm going to be with you every step of the way. We're going to be looking at these numbers. We were just talking to Gorka the other day who was making the point that Bongino was, Dan Bongino, great guy, that in some ways you need to make sure that the votes are in early because you want to be able to call this stuff, right? You don't want to have any hanging Chad type incidents. I digress. You see on the screen, if you're watching live, we love you for that. Balance of Nature, one of our great show sponsors here at the Trish Regan Show. You can get Balance of Nature delivered right to your house. Fruits and veggies, that's what I take every single day. I get all my vitamins courtesy of Balance of Nature. You can use code word Trish for up to 35%. Actually, you do get 35% off. You just need to call them at 1-800-246-8751. Again, 1-800-246-8751, or go to balanceofnature.com and type in code word Trish. We got a lot going on. It's not just the election season. You also have Thanksgiving coming up and Christmas coming up. And I know everybody gets busy and we're all running around in a zillion different places. And so it's all the more reason, ladies and gentlemen, why you want to take your health really, really seriously. 1-800-246-8751, or go to balanceofnature.com. Balanceofnature.com today.